Spoiler warning. There may be spoilers for any mentioned work, particularly the Resident Evil franchise and the 2010 film The Crazies. What's this? Well, I hope I don't regret that. Oh, what are these? Oh, what is this mutation? I promise to never kill another one of you again. People, on the other hand. I'll fight back. Oh yeah, let's go into the darkness. Most people would see that and be like, nope, out. Over the decades, there have been many horror movies, mysteries, and thrillers. Zombies have been a popular presence in entertainment for a long time. The most well-known zombie franchises include Resident Evil video games and movies, the video games and movies being very different works from each other, the Dead movies like Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, and the Walking Dead TV shows. Several attempts to adapt the Resident Evil video games have been made. The movies starring Milla Jovovich, spanning 6 movies in the early 2000s to the mid-2010s, were a financial success, but they were universally panned. These films were and still are criticized because they revolved around over-the-top action, explosions, a Mary Sue protagonist, Mary Sue meaning female character depicted as unrealistically lacking in weaknesses or, never having any flaws kind of thing. Even if they mess up, nobody ever seems to see it that way.
Is that all you got?
These movies were also known for stupid plots and bland characters. A second attempt to adapt the games to the movie screen occurred in 2021. This one was an ill-advised combination of Resident Evil 1 and 2 games, and like the Milla series before it, had game characters in name only. Especially puzzling, as this movie claimed to be faithful to the games, which it was not. Instead, the plague was not of the undead variety, but of poor characters, plot, bad CGI, and few good scenes. The recent Netflix show looks to be another bad product birthed from the popular game series. Hollywood doesn't seem to understand what makes Resident Evil attractive to consumers.
The drug contains the T-virus.
Hollywood thinks zombies, umbrella, virus, and it stops thinking there.
T-virus can make monsters.
There is so much more to these games.
I'll take the girl, master of this fine religious community. We kidnap the president's daughter for some donation. It takes a lot of money to keep this church running. This is a revolutionary way to promulgate one's faith.
Than those 3 things. In this video, I'm going to explain why the best Resident Evil movie we have isn't titled Resident Evil. The Crazies 2010 is a horror mystery thriller set in a small rural town where a contagious virus infects everyone. It is reminiscent of the Resident Evil game series in numerous ways. I will take you through the movie and explain why The Crazies 2010 is the best Resident Evil movie we have so far. The Crazies 2010 is a remake of the 1973 movie directed by George A. Romero, and Romero is well known for his zombie movies, the Dead series, as director and writer. The movies are similar, much of the original remade in the newer film. Breck Eisner directs the 2010 remake. Another work of his is the sci-fi show The Expanse, 2015 to 2022. The Crazies 2010 is written by Ray Wright and Scott Kozar. Kozar also served as supervising producer on The Haunting of Hill House 2018 and Bates Motel 2015 to 2017. He wrote a few episodes of these horror shows. The main characters consist of Sheriff David, played by Timothy Oliphant, David's wife Judy, played by Radha Mitchell, Deputy Russell, played by Joe Anderson, and teenager Becca, played by Danielle Panabaker. The Crazies is about a viral outbreak and infected people.
Oh, you come out with a gun? What the hell are you doing? Oh, Roar. All right, let's just lay the gun down. Lay it down. Hey, whoa, whoa. Oh, my God.
Resident Evil has the same plot in its games. In The Crazies, people deal with a prototype virus nicknamed Trixie.
What was on that plane?
Trixie, Rhabdo Verde prototype.
It was headed to an incinerator in Texas. You guys engineered this crap?
While in Resident Evil, it is a variety of viruses and parasites, plagues that are a threat to the protagonist. Both threats are contagious or can be passed on, and the infected become deadly. In Resident Evil, this is best seen with undead zombies who hunger for flesh, or homicidal living hosts, who are especially violent. In the Crazies, the virus makes people, well, crazy. They are unstable, exhibit peculiar behaviors, and have violent, murderous tendencies. The protagonist must struggle to survive the infected. Often this is in isolated, limited, or zero communication available situations with the outside for Resident Evil. The Crazies has this situation. Sheriff David and his deputy Russell must deal with their small town falling apart. Investigating odd behavior and murderous or hostile behavior of the townspeople.
Been there at least a week by the looks of things.
Said it sounded like a plane, Trav.
Which way does water flow through town?
Wastewater or drinking?
Drink it. Plane that size goes down or nothing in the news. It depends on what the payload is. Exactly what I'm thinking.
In general, the setting matches up as well for the Resident Evil video game series and this movie. The atmosphere and mood, the mystery of the circumstances, a feeling of being trapped, investigating noises and rooms and other places, is a sense of dread, danger, and tension.
What's Dad doing?
There is subtle, eerie music during certain scenes. An underlying sense of horror throughout, and there is also louder music that elevates certain situations to thrill. Both Resident Evil and The Crazies do this very well. Scenes in the movie are frequently reminiscent of Resident Evil game moments and play. avoiding the infected, fighting them, killing them for safety and survival, protecting teammates or civilians, unraveling the mystery of the outbreak and what happened, and escaping alive, having a desperate survival situation.
Who's the sheriff of Pierce County?
You are.
Who's the deputy?
That would be me.
I'm telling you, you're not getting sick.
Characters in the Crazies are 2 law enforcement officers and some civilians, and with Resident Evil, there is usually officers or agents or civilians. These characters then match up, being similarly skilled and trained protagonists. But now they're in a predicament where they have to face adversity and new frightening happenings.
I'm gonna go get her.
Let's go to the high school.
There's government involvement in the Resident Evil games sometimes, and in the Crazies film. There are containment measures and reactions to things that happen, like quarantines and bombs to eradicate the virus.
What's going on? James, I don't know. Right now, I don't know any more than you do.
There it is.
And so forth. Like Resident Evil games, there's a focus on surviving, the horror of the isolation and outbreak.
We're gonna go. Come on.
Come on.
And characters show their measure,
Deputy does what the sheriff tells him, right?
or their qualities, when struggling to find answers, when struggling to stay alive, to avoid infection, sometimes protecting others, and trying to find safety, somewhere to go.
You want to sit here and die? Tell me, and I will sit here and die with you.
The Crazies film matches the tone of Resident Evil games, the way it feels. It has consistent danger and uncertainty, growing threats and new obstacles.
Hey. Hey, Ben. Ben.
Entire movie scenes feel straight out of a Resident Evil game. The main character could easily be a Resident Evil protagonist.
Or is he dead?
While the Crazies movie features a more personal story of people losing their town, their friends, and the people they know,
This town is dead.
Resident Evil games have losses and emotional struggle for the characters too. Both have exploration, witnessing tragedy, things that happened before the characters got there, and things that happen while they're there.
Scotty!
Get back! Stop the fucking gun, Scotty. Put it down. Put it down.
Scotty!
The mood of this movie, just like Resident Evil, is solid horror, and the unknown or unexpected is on full display.
How long have you been playing statue?
It's about survival against the odds. A person or persons primarily alone fighting to escape and beat the infected who could kill them. The music and isolated setting captures the atmosphere of Resident Evil. It portrays individuals at ground zero of a viral outbreak.
They're checking for elevated temperatures. Cerebral hemorrhaging, any kind of virus.
A good Resident Evil film adaptation might look like this.
Hey, you feeling okay?
I'm not sick.
You wouldn't know. Through the sickness messing with your
Okay,
mind.
Russell, that's enough.
There are plenty of people who really want to see the game's stories appear on screen as a film, along with their beloved, recognizable characters.
Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon. Victims were apparently eaten.
Until this movie is created by a true fan of the game series and horror, The Crazies 2010 is an acceptable film to show what the popular Resident Evil game series is like. It gives characters to care about, tense, dread-filled moments, a good soundtrack that adds to the atmosphere, and story to get invested in. It isn't perfect. However, The Crazies 2010 is the best Resident Evil movie we have available right now. Do you have another movie in mind? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay entertained.